obviously with COVID and the pandemic, it's really just emphasised the need for being, for well-being and also for being authentic, but also the synergy between work and home life. There's a stat, Mum, that you had from BCG that you had. Could you please share that with us?
Yes, I think it's very alarming that COVID has seen women leave employment at 4 times the rate compared to men. And that's because their caring duties have increased to 40 hours per week. And that's a statistic that came from BCG research. Women, in fact, hold 39% of the world's jobs. Global workforce, 39% is the proportion that women hold. And yet the job losses as a result of COVID, 54% of those jobs have been those of women. So it just speaks volumes. So absolutely, I think we have to remember that small actions make a big difference, be it at women themselves, be it at organization level, institution level, or government level. Things can be done to make a difference.
So just picking up on that last bit, Mum, what can employers, organisations and possibly the government do to help women?
Totally agree with this, that it's not just women's responsibility, it's a collective responsibility to change the narrative, to be more accommodating, and organizations, institutions like schools, universities, they can help. They can bring in role models. Role models do a huge amount. And the way that narrative can be changed of leadership is by having a strong role model and the mindset that if she can do it, why can't I? I can too. So going back to the organizations and institutions and government's angle, there has to be senior management buy-in. If the senior leaders are not sold on the idea, then it is going to sit superficially in the culture of the organization. To generate that inclusive culture, you can't have a one and done tokenistic approach. So it has to be meaningful. Another thing I'd say is that there needs to be transparency, and transparency in how you recruit, how you promote, how you give bonuses, for example. It has to be very clear to people as to what do they need to achieve to be able to be rewarded. And that gives people psychological safety. And that is the prerequisite for innovation in organizations. The fact that people can be themselves, they can come forward with their ideas and not feel that they are going to be somehow punished if the ideas are at variance with sort of the organizations or senior leadership ideas. I think it's important for organizations to reject shortlists by recruitment agencies that have a heavy emphasis on just male candidates. They can do that to send the message back to recruitment companies that, they are expecting a 50% divide or share of female and male candidates. Organizations could hold career guidance workshops. They could have, to develop that talent pool, it is important that organizations are aware of what the aspirations of their workers are. And again, the point regarding sponsorship and mentoring dovetails in here, that senior colleagues in senior management, male, a lot of women who have made it have said that they had a male sponsor or a male mentor in the organization that who helped them put them forward, etc. And that's important. I'd like to share just one last, I know there's no, you get tired of too many statistics, but women and CEO women in the FTSE companies are 38% likely to get a bonus compared to 54% men, the chance of them getting a bonus. And when women do get a bonus, it is 83% smaller for women compared to men. So it is quite alarming. And I'd like to say finally, when it comes to government level and public policy level, we need teeth. We need meaningful teeth to make a difference. Gender pay gap publishing is great, but what if organizations don't? Name and shame. People become resilient to that and they don't care, because at the end of the day, if they can save money and add to the baseline, but the social corporate responsibility is a deterrent, but it's not enough sometimes for all organizations. And Finland and Iceland have been great examples of imposing, in fact, fines where they've found gender pay gap rules to be flouted. So we can learn from there, I suppose. But I'd like to just end on a positive note of saying that collective responsibility, everybody's responsibility, and as the hashtag Choose to Challenge theme of International Women's Day 2021, it is for everybody, not just women, to question and challenge behaviors that are stopping women get to where they can be and complementing the skill sets of men. And we want to leave a happier legacy for our next generation, a more sustainable and a more fairer economy for all. And everybody can play a part. And like I said, small actions, big impact. Thank you, Natasha, for having me.
Thank you, Mum, for sharing your journey and those very useful nuggets of information. It's been an informative podcast, so thank you for joining us today.